item is an update from Weston and Sampson.
Okay.
We'll turn this over to Jeff. And
All right, thank you very much. This is basically a summary of the information that's being provided to the Board of Selectmen for our last meeting. It was discussed and suggested that we spend some time to at least show you, make sure you're in agreement with everything. And a lot of this will be a repeat from the last meeting, but I did want to just walk through it all again and show you where we're at, relatively speaking, to the overall project. So some of this will be new. So for the status of the design, this is just a bullet list of the work that's been advanced. We talked about at the last meeting the extensive review and confirmation exercise. Since then, we've advanced test pits, both for stormwater, so we could confirm proper locations in accordance with DEP best management practices for the stormwater system, as well as septic design. So we were able to find the location. We have essentially good soils, good results from that. Natural soils. So that's great because it's closer to the front of the site as opposed to the rear where there's a lot of fill.
but we still need relief for working on that site, right? Isn't that all?
No, because we're able to construct within
really?
native material. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the site was excavated out from the road down, back, and
I
in.
thought
So
everything was, okay.
no. So we're actually, it works out great.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was great news.
What do we get, 5 minutes per inch, is that what we get?
It's 7.
7 per
Yeah,
inch?
it's 7, so it's a little bigger system. It's right in the front of the building.
Right.
So
Oh,
between
wow.
the building and the road.
Lucky us.
Yeah, it's good.
We are going to site plan review next week. Are there any other issues that are outstanding that might come up then?
No, nothing
Okay.
significant. No,
In terms of major design.
So we have an approvable plan.
we are gonna, we have everything we need to get through that site plan approval process.
Okay.
And I'll show you some of the information that we do have.
Okay.
So based on that, we also initiated the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection Solid Waste Permitting. Because this is site-assigned property, we've been in contact with them over the last year on multiple occasions, but now that we're advancing our design, we're going to go through a formal permitting process for use of that land. And as we talked about, and we've already incorporated into our design, there's some provisions for a cutoff trench, which is a protection measure for the building for methane, although we don't anticipate that being an issue, we're still going to provide that. And also, we have those vapor monitoring points that were discussed with the committees about 6 months ago.
Right.
Those are being incorporated so that at any time we can get in there and test that. So we've advanced design development documents. They include, from the civil site perspective, layout plans, utility plans, grading and drainage plans, and multiple details associated with the site systems. We've advanced the architectural plans. We have floor plans, elevations. We're working through typical sections, and we have a lot of the detail sheets that have now been started associated with the building. And structural, we've initiated the foundation plans, structural slab plans. We also have some structural building sections showing the overall primary framing. From the building system design, we've essentially prepared the design narratives, which identify the different types of systems. And now that we've finalized our overall envelope, they're quickly moving into preparation of design documents. So we'll very soon have plans that'll be started for each of those components. As we talked about, this is the overall view of the proposed facility, and you can see the site development around it. We have 2 access points into the site, one in the lower right, one in the upper left here, which provides drive-through access to the overall site. We have the fuel line that's being constructed now, and then we have our employee and public parking around the perimeter, and we also have some parking for out-of-service vehicles, yes. And then we have our salt storage structure in the back.
Is that the limit of the that line that runs through there? That's the limit of work line for the fuel depot? Pavement?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yep, that's it. This is the area where they're essentially working in, but the system is right here.
Yeah.
So that's the conceptual site plan, and we have multiple plans. I'll show you some of those in a moment. This is the overall floor plan that was presented to you at the previous meeting. And as we talked about, the main areas include the office and office support area. We have the employee facility support space, the trade shops, the vehicle maintenance, the wash bay, and the vehicle and equipment storage area. Overall massing, we've been fine-tuning that as we move through it. We're really looking to keep a very basic and cost-effective building massing, which will result in better pricing. If we don't, you take a metal building such as this, if you get too creative with it, you can take the cost effectiveness out of it. So we really work to keep it very basic. And if you look at it from really two views that I'm going to show you some massing, starting with the view as you look in the upper right, as you're approaching the site, you can see the overall massing. We have the lower massing for the office and employee facilities. We have the higher massing here for the trade shops and vehicle maintenance area and wash bay, and that's important because that allows us to build in some mezzanine space. And then we're able to drop the massing in the rear of the building where we have the vehicle and equipment storage area with a single slope shed roof. You can see we're using a lot of natural daylighting around the perimeter. That's important because that'll allow us to reduce the use of artificial lighting by introducing that natural light within that space. And as you look at it from a lower level, because typically no one's really looking at the building from the bird's eye view, but it does help you visualize it. But as you look at it from a lower level, you can see it's very clean lines, and having the administrative office area right in the front with clear signage so that people know where to enter the facility. And as you swing around to the other side, again, from a bird's eye view, you can see this is a higher massing of the vehicle maintenance area. And as you take a look at it from the lower level, that gives you another perspective where you have the employee facilities and the administration to the right, and you have your vehicle maintenance, wash, and the vehicle storage out in the back. So very basic, very clean, good framing system, should be cost effective. Overall, from a schedule perspective, we're aiming and on track to have our design development plans completed this month, which we brought progress drawings this afternoon. I have some 11 by 17s, but I can also throw them up on the screen for you. We're going to quickly move right into construction documents, completing them at the end of January, at which point during that time in January we'll go through the contractor pre-qualification process so we can get our contractors pre-qualified and ready for bidding. Begin the bidding in January, having the bid phase completed by March 15th, so that we have bid results to go into town meeting for May 8th, and the vote soon after that, tentatively shown as May 16. Those dates obviously will be set by the town. So we're on track to meet the schedule. We've gone through and updated the cost estimate. What's great is we've taken the plans to the next level that we could actually start to take out some of the fluff, the contingencies that have been built into it, and essentially through that process, following the same format, we have a total construction cost of the current program at $12.6 million. Essentially, we were at $12,640 before. We're at $12,645. It's essentially very close. The $298 per square foot is very similar to the bids that we recently received. It's reflective of that. So when we were presenting to you last time, we were up in the 300 plus.
330.
Per square foot. So through the process of fine-tuning our quantities, now that we have actual plans, we're able to control the costs and still meet the programmatic requirements for a total project cost of $13.625. So still right on track where we had planned on being. And so that's essentially the summary that gives you the general overview of the overall project. And as I mentioned, I brought, this is the progress set. If you'd like, I can distribute these and let you just scan through them if you'd like. The important thing to note with these type of drawings is that they are in fact progress.
Those glasses.
Essentially, it's a printout of where we were at a particular hour of that day, because through any design development process, we're continually coordinating between disciplines, and we're always updating and revising.
Yep.
So you'll see, if you find a discrepancy, don't be alarmed, because we actually go through a comprehensive internal review, as will the owner's project manager. And then from there, we rectify those discrepancies, or we begin to coordinate the drawings in even more detail, so that we end up with a really nice set of plans.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the plans that are up on the screen in front of you. As I mentioned, we have everything from existing conditions plans to our overall construction plan, layout plan, the utility plans. We have grading and
Septic
drainage.
system is in the front there.
Yeah, you can see the septic system is in this front area here, which is essentially native material. We're going to be constructing that in the front.
So, can I just interrupt a little, Jeff?
Sure.
The good news about what their team has been doing, just on benefit on cost, is that the more definition and description of the products they're actually installing gives you a better quantity, or to be able to quantify it on an estimate. So,
Yeah.
like, they're showing a lot more detail from schematic to design development. They allows us to come up with a number as to, instead of carrying a square footage cost on exterior civil and building, we're able to actually put dollar values against the components of the building.
Yeah.
So you can see the progress of work method, even with the narratives, with the narratives themselves, with the electrical all the way through mechanical, it gives us the meat and potatoes that we actually need to be able to price against it at that level. We're currently doing a estimate at DD just to do a comparison to what they're doing as well. And I think moving forward, they're moving in the right direction. It's going to give them a check and balance to be able to say, we may want to consider a different, siding or whatever it might be, trimming or interior finishes as the prices in the design contingency drops.
Gas, what kind of penalty are we paying to set this up for LP with the idea of assuming that we're gonna go to someplace in the next year or two, we're gonna go to,
It's not very much.
No?
There's a little bit of conversion cost built into the equipment. There's a pad that we're building on the south side of the building that could take a temporary propane tank.
yeah,
Given the size of it and the usage, you probably get the tank for free for a
Right.
certain amount of time. So there's a little bit of piping, and then conversion of the equipment later on.
but we're gonna be laying any kind of piping under pavement or anything like that in anticipation of natural gas
Yeah,
hookup,
well,
right?
either that or sleeve it, so that you would.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
So you'd
So there'd
ready
be
to-
provisions for
Yeah.
it, so that you're not gonna end up having to tear up asphalt.
Yeah.
And after the.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It has, do we still have a date for that moratorium hookup?
Nothing new.
It's in the 17th?
Wait a minute, or anything?
Yeah.
Still working on it.
Okay.
I gotta ask you a question. I was up there today. How in hell are we gonna keep that dry? From the dump that comes down, and then you got that trap rock ditch.
You swale.
Everything is going towards,
The building,
That's what
the gas,
the fuel depot.
right.
Right.
Yeah, there's a swale built in.
So you can see there's a swale built in that you haven't seen yet. That's all part of the most recent design work to catch it,
Right.
to catch it.
So anything that comes down here will travel through the swale. This becomes a bit of a detention and ultimately discharges to our overall system. So that does not have the opportunity to make its way onto the site.
All right.
Right. I think the further answer is that temporarily, there's a retention basin right about where the cursor is that will take that water for now until this future system is
Oh,
built
okay.
out.
Right.
So I don't think that's really
Yep.
the case yet, so it probably looks like a bit of a sump now,
Mhm.
Okay.
but there will be some drainage.
Now, we made the shop spaces bigger, didn't we?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Did you take all the men in and look at the plans and stuff?
Yes, we had extensive, numerous meetings, how many emails back and forth with the staff and the foreman and everybody else. Weston and Sampson was there. We've gone through equipment and everything else. I sat with Todd Bunz, we took all of his equipment, we physically fit it on the plan, we sketched it.
Yeah.
This is gonna go here, this is gonna go here. Yeah, we got all the managers and all the foremen into the room.
All right, now, we took space from some of the offices and stuff to make that,
Yes.
okay. Well, you better talk to your crew again.
What-
They said it's nowhere near big enough,
Still,
the workspace.
They will say that until they retire.
We're still talking chatter.
I think we added about a third or more to
Yeah,
the
they
shop
got
space.
more space.
Right,
than they-
right.
Took a little bit from the admin area,
Right,
and that was good from a budget point of view. That shop space is a little cheaper than the admin space. But it was a pretty substantial increase. And,
now, what are you gonna have for this little jog? You're gonna do that, what's going in there?
Where's that, in here?
The
Well, yeah, no,
the new jog. Well,
the
yeah,
little jog in the
What
road.
shows on those plans you got?
Okay,
They're
so
gonna
I just got 'em.
displace, yeah, they're gonna displace the office.
Let me get you the, This is the jog, essentially, right in this area here. So we filled in this corner, and we were able to shift the workforce lunchroom. We have the shared foreman office, the storm event counter, so during storm events, you control the flow of traffic into a very small area as opposed to the entire facility. And then adjacent to that, you have your employee facility. So it works out very nice. Good flow.
Yeah, I mean, the design does seem to make more sense, that's for sure.
I'm gonna throw one comment, kind of from Ron, if I may, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
And it's something just to think about a little bit. Ron's not in love with the electrical room in this location. I don't know if there's anything we can do about it.
Being internal.
Internal.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's more important to have the plumbing on the
137?
external than the electrical. But,
You can make that as well.
what, plumbing and electrical?
No, the electrical and maintenance, so it's on the outside. Is that Ron's office?
That's Al's office. You mean the electrical in the maintenance
Yeah.
office?
Usually mechanical and somewhat close.
Right.
That's why they're doing it inside.
Could go up easily.
Could what, go up?
Could go up, there you go. Up to the line, I'll just do this here, up to this line, the space up the page is double height. That's the
Right.
full height portion of
So
the
second.
maintenance space, so there's a mezzanine, second floor.
But then it's taken away from the mezzanine.
Yeah. Not
But we
that- it's
could,
not that
well, we could
big.
utilize that extra space for pot storage or something on the
Yeah.
first floor.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure, I haven't talked to Ron in any detail, what his concern might be with that. We built a couple of DPWs because of, exterior wall space is somewhat valuable, where we've had internal electric rooms. We haven't had any issues.
He's gonna be here just to run a little late.
Okay.
So we can, after the meeting, we just
Yeah.
sit down and get his
Yep.
Just,
feedback.
yeah.
Sure.
Just see where his
Is
concern.
there a reason you just can't shift that electrical room to the outside, move fire protection in?
But I think fire protection is probably more important than
Yeah.
on the external wall.
Okay,
At the service.
Just the feeds and the
Valves and-
sweeps that you need to get them in there.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
So just
I
comment,
mean,
we'll work on some details,
concerned
you
about
see that
coming up the
shift, you
outside
understand
and
why.
in? 'Cause we can probably still do that.
I don't see it. I've built a lot of electrical rooms on the interior.
This fire protection's wet, right?
It's gonna be a combination way,
Yeah,
right?
they're dry and wet, yeah,
Okay.
depending on location.
Can I make another comment? Dan, write this one down.
Yeah.
On your current plans, you've
Yeah.
got 2 gated entrances.
Yep,
We need a third, we're not installing one at the fuel depot right now.
okay.
We need we need a permanent gated entrance, with the slide rail.
Yeah.
Gate for the fuel depot also.
Got it.
Just so-
Okay.
Yeah, you remote,
Yeah.
hit the
I
remote.
think currently we're actually carrying 4 in total, there'd be 2.
I just didn't see,
proposing
you might
ones.
be doing it on the plan, but I just didn't see it.
Yeah, they
You might
don't
be
show
doing the
that well,
estimate, but I
but-
didn't see it on the plan.
Yeah, it's not on the plan, we
I
need to
just
get
wanna
that
let you-
added.
There should be a pair of them at the fuel entrance, because there's an in and out.
Right.
And then there's another one at
Yeah,
over by the public parking
Right.
on the north side, and then a 4th one up at the transfer station
Okay.
access road.
All right.
But that's a great example of things that you're gonna pick up in the drawings that need a little more detail on them as they move forward to
Yeah.
the CD set.
Get back to Buddy's previous comment. So, I kind of mentioned to these guys, I was gonna say it later, but I'll just say it now, because Buddy asked. After this meeting, I want to get from you guys PDFs of the plans,
Yeah.
and I want the current, industrial equipment list that you've used for the estimate that you showed these guys today. I want my hands on that so that I can get it back down to the staff next week and go, here you go again, you know what I mean? Take a look, here's the equipment, this is where, I just, want to dot that I as many times. Because I know it was important to it's important to me, it's important to the staff, but the committee, Buddy brings up again, has been very thoughtful of that comment for the last 2 years, saying, look at, we need to make sure we get buy-in from the staff and that they're happy with what's going on. So I would like to do that again, not so much for building layout, we're pretty much there, but really now more the industrial equipment standpoint. What's being purchased and what's not.
Go back over utility back charges, we got like $30,000. Could you guys explain, did they hold that for transformer upgrades or
Yeah.
power lines, or how's
I
that?
can speak on that, because I deal with them all the time, and it's providing service to the building, and there's a cost associated with whether they put underground or overhead or transformers in place, so that's an estimate, and until you submit your actual electrical plans and your loads, needed for the building. They'll do engineering, that's part of the engineering
Yeah.
portion of it. And then they'll provide a cost that the town will have to write the check for, for the engineering before they'll even schedule it. That's all done.
Yeah.
The good news, though, is that this building probably will be able to go for some type of a rebate based on the energy efficiency of it, and they'll give you a rebate back, so.
But we don't know what that number is until we're after the building, or
No,
what?
actually, you know it before, because the calculations from the electrical engineers are provided during the submission of the package.
Right.
So they'll actually calculate what they feel the
What they need.
rebate will be, and
Right.
you'll know what it is. You won't get it until the end, though.
Right, okay, okay. But we're confident that that 30,000 is a good placeholder?
Yeah, last job I carried 50 and we got charged $1,200, so you just never know.
Well, and then I carried 25 and we got charged 75, so I mean,
You
it's.
just never know.
So, I mean, it depends who,
Yeah. It's like
Okay.
it's like a lottery ticket.
But there's a pole line on that street already, they've already got.
It's just a reconfiguration of whether, if whatever the size of the transformers is gonna be required, and the drop from the pole to that transformer is a cost that you'd be paying. That's what it comes down to.
You guys have any questions? I'll take that as a covering item number 2, which is going over things with Daedalus. All right. If we're coming up with bid alternates, when do we know?
Usually after we're gonna be doing another estimate within probably, what would you say, another 2 months?
Yeah.
Based on that, we'll identify.
The things that are worth alternate?
Yeah, because at that point, I'm really gonna have some hard numbers.
Okay.
At what they're putting into this design.
Okay,
And then we'll have to meet strategically as a team and say, what do you want to put as a bid alternate, just as a hold safe,
yeah, okay,
you know what I mean, as we
Okay.
move forward. And, it can be as easy as, something small or, something catastrophic, depending where we're at.
so calendar-wise, is that something we're gonna see like, in November, December?
Probably mid to later November.
Okay,
Can you go to the schedule?
Yep.
What we're talking about?
Yeah, it was the 21st, we're going to completion of CDD, 28th.
So we typically will do a 50% CD estimate, so somewhere between,
Somewhere in there.
yeah, November and December.
Yeah.
Probably more like December, where we'll have 50% CDs, send those to our independent estimator, we do our own. Daedalus will do one, then we'll sit down and reconcile them.
yeah, okay.
And that'll kick out the, alternates and the need for alternates.
Shows some inconsistencies of, Miss Metals is always volatile, and, maybe we're looking at it a little differently than they are.
Okay.
So we'll try to reconcile those numbers to see what the actual, scope of work is for each of
But
them.
we got actual specs and drawings and, so somebody can
Yeah,
start.
real paperwork to look at, yeah.
Yeah,
And that's why you'll see the design contingency slowly deteriorate to nothing.
yeah, okay. You guys have any questions?
Not yet,
Right, yeah.
tongue-tied.
Jim?
No, but I'm pleased to see where you get two kind of retention areas. And,
We are going to the selectmen next week to make a formal presentation of our 60% status. I kind of just roughly got a couple of thoughts about a motion. Any additions, subtractions?
Sounds fine. What are you looking for? Want me to read it? And
No, I thought I'd make the motion, I just thought I'd let you guys, if you guys wanted to add or subtract or whatever.
It's pretty detailed, but
Okay. I thought it'd be at our last meeting, we made a motion to basically approve the plan, but I think it would be more helpful to give the, a formal motion to the selectmen to attach to our presentation next week. All right, I move that the DPW Facilities Building Committee, after having completed the building feasibility portion of our charge, which resulted in a concept approved by town meeting, and now in the building committee charge, having reviewed a more detailed design scheme and given apparent market conditions, recommend proceeding with the complete construction documents for the concept before you in order to deliver our charge to town meeting.
So moved.
Anybody want to second that?
Yeah, I was trying. I second that.
All right,
Try something.
we have a motion.
My voice is going.
Do I hear a vote?
Aye.
Aye?
Mhm.
That'd be unanimous. Okay. We'll get Michael to include these in the minutes.
Chairman, are you gonna send that to the Board of Selectmen for next week?
Yeah,
Yeah, I know they're trying to get the packets together very.
Yeah, no problem.
Tomorrow morning at the
Yeah.
latest.
no problem. All right,
You're developing the whole thing, you have it done, or?
yeah, we'll get it done. Our next agenda items, what do we anticipate doing, and when do we next want to meet?
This,
That's a good question. Maybe
Right.
Jeff or Joe can
I
give
would
us
say that
guidance.
probably in November, early November. There's a couple of things that we're gonna be working internally. There's permitting process that we gotta go through. I have a completed list of things that I know that we're gonna end up going through standardized. But I just wanna make sure there's nothing with Orleans that's specific oriented with the permitting process. All the, whether it be planning,
Site plan
zoning,
review
site plan
next week,
review,
we're on-
all of
on-
that,
Yeah.
Sometimes we have a public hearing with the neighbors just to let them know, what you're proposing, so
Yeah.
that they have a comfort level as well.
Yeah.
Those are the things that Jeff and I and Tom will go through.
Are we doing formal site plan approval, or we do, is this a working?
We're going in for the informal
Advisory?
next week,
Tagged it as formal.
but I think we're gonna
actually.
go for the formal. Oh, no, it is formal next
It
week,
is.
right?
It is
Yeah,
formal.
we're going in formal.
Yeah, because they've actually seen it on a preliminary meeting.
Okay.
Back in August. And they chose based on the submittal yesterday.
And we have no outstanding special permitting issues that,
No
No
conservation.
variances, no
No.
special permits.
no,
We
Within the
are,
means of the property, right?
what's that?
You're within the means of the property.
Yeah,
yeah.
we're in good shape.
Yeah.
We have minimal permits.
So really, there's no reason why we
What the hell?
couldn't apply for a building permit.
For what?
Septic.
Septic, right. Yeah, building
Okay.
permit.
So
If you-
what do we,
I know.
Is there anything in the new code with
so
So,
what are we talking date-wise?
what do you think, November?
For our next meeting?
Yeah,
I am not around early November,
You missed.
so you know.
How about November 2nd?
November 2nd.
Budgets are
Nice,
due,
teasing.
budgets are due, and
We can
I'm
do
like,
the
you can do
16th.
it, yeah, honestly, you can do it without me, I'm just letting you
No,
guys.
I was joking. We definitely want you there.
I am, budgets, I have to, let me put it this, I'm moving my parents back from Florida, so I'm flying to Florida and driving them home. I will be back to work on this, let me get the right month, hold on, back to work on the 16th.
Probably that following week.
Thanksgiving.
17th, or,
Is the 17th too early for you? Well, yeah,
me?
we can do the 17th?
Okay, I'm here.
That's a Thursday, right?
Are you guys good for that?
17th sounds good right now.
That's the next week.
We put agenda or
Just an
It's
update.
gonna be
Anything,
progress?
everyone's excited. We're working together nicely. We put this all into a Revit 3D modeling software,
Yeah.
which helps us to coordinate better.
Sure.
So the production really kicks into high gear, so we'll have some
Okay.
great stuff to show you.
Coordination's gonna be the big thing that they need to kind of just put together.
Yeah.
Just make sure all the systems.
Okay, but that's
Space
out of our
wise
hands.
where it fit.
Yeah.
Mechanical rooms are never big enough.
Okay.
This
We,
time of year.
we don't have minutes to approve, so we'll have to move on to item number 6, which is, I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Okay. And a vote. Aye,
Aye.
aye. We're unanimous.